Ha ha! And then song. Hush now. Great little beautiful. I don't know. Sci-fi. Alright, hello, my name is Fox. I'm Fox. I finished CentaurWorld. I don't think I'll do the whole video thing this time because Netflix and honestly, probably Netflix actually would let me do it. I don't know. But, yeah, this is CentaurWorld. This is something I heard about on Twitter, and everyone said, oh my god, it's so good. And I looked at the art, and I'm like, by god, this looks like shit. Like, no, let me rephrase that. Not that it looks like shit, but it looks colorful. I don't know how to say that a better way. It looked very colorful. It's very simplified. It looks like what it is. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Because here's the thing. It took me a minute to get into Adventure Time. And I'm honestly happy I did get into Adventure Time because Adventure Time is basically what brought me into liking cartoons again. It brought me to Steven Universe and eventually, you know, it just spanned every cartoon that I've recently started watching again. After thinking, no, I don't need to watch those things. Those shows are stupid. And, you know, it's giving me more ideas on how to see things. Eventually, you know, it eventually led me to watching The Owl House, Kipo, and all these things. I really enjoy, I really like to stuff like that. But it still took me a minute to get into it because of the, because I didn't know what it was about. And, like, the art style, at least for me at that time, wasn't that good. Me now, like, obviously, like, I really love the art style of Adventure Time. But what really drew me into Adventure Time was when I found out that there was a larger story at play. It wasn't just random snippets or random little side things like, let's say, Teen Titans Go. There was an actual story. And by going off of that, like, when I found out, like, it was a post-apocalyptic story, that there's actually way darker themes in this series than I originally knew. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I like that. You know what? All right, I'll give it a shot. I'll watch from the beginning onward. And, again, hooked me on cartoons again. Hooked me through everything. Set up everything that very much that my channel is kind of expanding on and stuff. So, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was fun. It got me even starting to do theories, stuff like that. It's great. This show is very much in that similar vein on many levels. Where, again, I heard CentaurWorld and I saw the character designs of the main centaurs. And when I saw them, all I was thinking of, I don't want to watch that. Like, the art style and the characters, like, how their faces, the derpy things, stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to watch that. But then eventually, there was a Twitter post that someone posted that said, these are really great. These are the best character designs. And it had, like, Anne Bouchoy, Luz Nocera. I can't remember what the other one was. And then there was a last character that I didn't recognize. And I'm like, who the hell is that last character? And they said on Twitter, oh, that's Ryder from CentaurWorld. And I'm like, okay, she's a completely different art style than CentaurWorld. She's a completely different, it looks animation-wise, at least. I love her design. I love her look. I'm like, okay, maybe, like, because I've never seen a trailer of CentaurWorld. So I'm like, okay, maybe CentaurWorld's kind of like this rough character gets taken to this weird world, and, like, maybe she has to, like, ride these centaurs as being her name is Ryder. I'm like, okay, maybe, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And someone even told me, like, on my post, sorry, I remember the icon, but I don't necessarily remember names and stuff. But I was like, oh yeah. But I'll bring it up. But, like, they said, oh yeah, it's like, shit, what was it? I can't remember. Oh, Mr. Styro. Yeah, Mr. Styro. I hope I got that right. Styro. They said, oh yeah, it's like something but a musical. And I'm like, Alpha Betas. Check out the Kickstarter. Hold on, let's see, because I can pull up the. I think I believe it was Mr. Styro. King's Mom, huge Sonic fan coming to, Energy Rooms and Delusions, Abomination Glyphs, Golden Guard, I can't remember. Crap. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the exact quote was that they said. But it was basically that, like, CentaurWorld is basically like something with a musical. And I'm like, oh, here we go. You're interested in reviewing Netflix's CentaurWorld? It's kind of like combining Amphibia, Adventure Time, and My Little Pony as a musical. And I'm like, okay, other than maybe the My Little Pony, which even then, like, it does it kind of well. I'm like, I'm interested. All right. And I watch it. So again, I'm going in thinking, okay, Ryder is the main character. He gets taken to this weird world and all this stuff. No, it turns out it's her horse. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense. Like, it basically, like, Ryder and her horse are in this war against minotaurs. These monster-like demons. And they steal this artifact. And eventually, this artifact, for whatever reason, Ryder was about to get killed. And, like, they're about to die. The horse, but I thought, like, oh my god, I'm getting, like, freaking, Never-Ending Story vibes a little bit. Ryder and the horse, like, are pulling on the thing. The horse falls off a cliff with the piece, wakes up in CentaurWorld, and basically where the horse can now talk, like, act more human, meets these centaurs that are... I really do like that they play up the creepy factor of them. Like, it's not just, oh, giggly boobly. Like, they're like, yes, they're giggly boobly, but they're also very strange. They're very weird. Their designs are kind of creepy at times. They have weird anime change faces, and, like, they're very cartoony, and they play it up. And, like, I'm like, okay, I'm actually kind of, like, they're creepy as hell. And I'm like, okay, so, like, at least the show knows that they're creepy. And, like, the best way I can describe it, it's like, it's kind of like if they took Happy Tree Friends, but then they made it to where, like, you know, like, an actual story behind it and stuff like that, kind of. And basically, Horse, who's just named Horse, has to go on an adventure with these guys unwillingly. And I'm going to say this right now, even though I've already gone 8 minutes in. This is kind of what I wanted from Shera and the Princesses of Power. Like, because here's the thing. Because here's the thing. One, this entire show is good. Go watch it. The music is great. All this stuff is good. This is what I wanted Shera Princesses of Power to be. Because one of my biggest issues with Shera Princess of Power was Adora, at least to me, feels like she kind of didn't feel the part. Like, Adora didn't feel like, yes, I was born and raised in the Horde, and I'm a hardened warrior, learned to kill, and all this stuff. She never felt like that. And then the princesses felt too aware that they were in a war and didn't care. Like, again, like, let's say, oh yeah, we can go on a happy fun time trip or something like that. And Adora was like, oh my god, like, talking horse, like, yeah, like, you're talking, but it's like, oh yeah. And, like, I don't know, like, they tried to make Adora kind of like, oh yeah, like, she doesn't know what her birthday is or stuff like that, but I don't know, I never felt like she was that war soldier. The princesses felt too smart, but then also acted too dumb for me to kind of really care about all of them. The only two characters that I think were actually, three maybe, that actually felt like they knew they were in a war. They knew that there were stakes in this war and all this stuff. And, like, you know, we're raised up in this war. We're, you know, going for this war. Are Hordak, Shadow Weaver, even though I really don't like her, and, you know, she's an abusive mother and all this stuff. She's the exact opposite of Ida. And Catra, who was my favorite character, because she did act like, yes, this is a war. Yes, people are gonna die. Yes, we have to strategize this. We have to work this out. And like, this show does what Shera couldn't do. And I'm not saying like on the sense of, yes, Shera is still a very major point for LGBT community. Yes, it eventually gets better towards the end. I say maybe like the last season. I feel it got way better. But for a thing that was, for a country or a world that was constantly at war, it never felt like it. It never felt like it. This one, it makes sense because, like, okay, there's a war going on. It's in another dimension, so you have that kind of gnawing in the back of your head, and as well as then slowly things are being revealed about an ancient war that happened, that humans eventually apparently were here, probably fighting with centaurs and stuff like that. You have these characters that live in this happy, sparkle friendship place, and, you know, they don't really know about war, and they don't know anything about that. They're kind of just, okay, yeah, we're kind of, you know, living our little dome. Like, yeah, there's bad things that happen here, and there's evil things, and, like, stuff like that, but it's a separate thing. It's locked up in another world. And Horse, she was raised in a war. She was raised in fire and brimstone, crushing enemy skulls beneath her hooves, as she says, and all these things. And it's really cool. Also, I love, well, let me finish my thought first. But it felt, these characters felt like they made sense in their world and in this setting where you could have, yes, this dark overtone type of, the darkness of a war going on, of evil things happening, but also still have the, let's go on a birthday party run, let's go to the spa, or some shit like that. Like, this thing does, and also the whole point is that basically Horse has to go with the centaurs because she doesn't have magic, and eventually the centaurs want to go because kind of see her slowly adopt her into the family. She kind of slowly, you know, merges into the family, as well as, you know, they have to find these key pieces sent off by find the 5 shamans, because they find the 6 shaman, and who the main shaman being Water Baby, a hippo centaur, who sends them off on this quest and goes, here, like, find the other 5 or 4 pieces. Yeah, find the other 4 shamans, find those 4 keys, find those 4 key shards, then, you know, meet us at the rift and we'll open the gate and get you home. While there's this obviously dark undertone of, while there's obviously this one really compelling story, I'd say, of Horse wanting to get back to Ryder. That's her whole motivation. She wants to get back to the only family she has and all this stuff. And hell, like, the beginning of it, like the beginning song, or it was the beginning song, it was one of the first episodes that it actually got me kind of teary-eyed, which usually is something that happens towards the end of a show. But let's see. The war scenario is cool. Ryder is badass. What the hell did it switch to when it switched to the centaurs? Oh yeah, Zero Guy. Wait, we can leave? When they find out they can leave this domed area, that Mama Llama, I think that's her name. Also, the Barry goes, I love you, whenever Horse tries to leave. And there's a lot of fun visual gags. She just needs a sword. Oh yeah, Horse just needs a sword to be more badass. Also, Horse maybe... Oh yeah, that was wrong. Also, I love Glendale, the kleptomaniac centaur. Horse says the glue, personal space... I can't remember, but basically, the Horse sings, and I actually did get teary-eyed. I'm like, that's really good. And like the show itself, like the music is good, obviously, but yeah, like the balance of, yes, dark things have happened in this world, and like these characters are kind of inept to it because, you know, they're literally grown up in a bubble, or like, you know, their world hasn't had this war, hasn't had any of this. And it's amazing. I love it. I love it a lot. Like, it gives it a reason for these things it gives, like, this weight to everything, and eventually sets up for, and I honestly, I think this is what Shera probably should have been. Like, something kind of like this. Like, have to where the princesses maybe didn't have to go as derpy, but, like, you know, they don't know war. They're very peace, like, kind of like Perfuma a bit. They're kind of, like, very peace-driven. Like, they don't know there's a war going on. Like, the Horde maybe hasn't even attacked it. Maybe they're just slowly building up their army because they know they have magic over there. And, or something like that. Like, I don't know, something similar to that. And, you know, make Adora more war-driven. Like, she wants to get back to the Horde. No one knows who the Horde is. Like they're like, oh, yeah, sure, we can help you get back to your family. Or something like that. Like, this story is so... And again, the compelling thing with Ryder and stuff like that. Like, this entire story feels so much like what Shera was trying to do. And it messed up, I think. Like, you could even have that Adora was trying to get back to Catra. And you could show that maybe there were feelings going on there. Not saying that's happening with Horse and Ryder, but yeah. But yeah, other than that, this show, like this, I think did what Shera was trying to do, but way better. The humor, like, there's fart jokes and shit like that. But honestly, a lot of things are real funny. There's the himbo giraffe guy. I say himbo, I probably shouldn't. But the giraffe guy who's, like, super long neck, who... farts are insults to him until he wishes for them to be happy to him. There's the kleptomaniac Glendale, who's probably my favorite character outside of Ryder and Horse. There's Mama Llama, which I slowly kind of grew on me as well. There's Ched, who's racist to Horse, and I guess gets over it by the end. Then there's Zoella, I can't remember his name. The fashionista, I'm going to go ahead and assume maybe gay. I'm just going to get it because he's heavily coded but never really stated. But yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and guess maybe. And also probably had a thing with that tiger dude, Tiger Centaur. That he's very vanity driven and shit. And Horse, who is really badass and stuff like that. And I'm going to say right now, I liked her original design, because slowly as the series progresses, spoilers I guess, she slowly becomes more cartoony. Like, her appearance literally changes to cartoony. She kind of absorbs, I guess, magic into her. And all I can hope is that does not happen to Ryder when she comes to CentaurWorld. I hope not. Let her keep her own damn art style, because by God, did I love that art style so much. And like, I'd say the art style was very something similar to, I wouldn't say, I guess Kipo. Nah, not really Kipo, but Teen Titans, the original cartoon 2003 one, I think. I'm trying to think of a good, like, reference, but something kind of like, no, I haven't seen Primal, but something kind of like that, or maybe like the Samurai Jack final season, like kind of something like that, where it feels like, yeah, there's something gritty shit going on in the background. Like that. And this show also doesn't stray away from having dark humor where, like, they accidentally kill someone, they're like, oh god, or you know, like someone dies off screen, or like someone horrible, and they're like, oh, okay, like stuff like that. Or even the main bad guy in the end, the Nowhere King, which one I love, because again, like, this is one of those things, like, let's see here, where is it? Something, and then this was the line that I did write down. You will bring joy to the Nowhere King when he sees the light leaving your eyes. I'm like, oh my god. And then while in the background, obviously, they're setting up things where, like, obviously it's season 1, so it's more set up for the main hero, and kind of hinting at the story. Like, it's setting up the feelings between Horse and Ryder, which when they finally meet up, it's so like, yes, and it's like, will she recognize her? Will she not recognize her? Oh my god, like, it's so damn good. It's so damn good. And also, I'm going to say, like, Ryder, again, like, even though, you know, like, we barely see Ryder, she is my favorite character in this show. One, because I love her design. Two, I kind of love, like, her, like, you know, warrior aesthetics. I hope she doesn't go evil. But also, like, how she fights with a sword is less like I feel like there's some people like certain sword enthusiasts that can't understand a lightsaber or understand why a Jedi fights the way they do, or others, or any case, there's like some things where it's like, oh yeah, this is totally fantasy. It's like, yeah, no shit, but that's why I love it, because like Ryder, when she fights, doesn't fight like a regular swordsman. She fights like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. And I love it. And what I mean by that is, especially Kingdom Hearts 3, but I mean like that it less looks like Ryder is like controlling her blade so much as she is swinging that thing, and the weight of her sword is whipping her back and forth in badass ways. One point I had to rewind it a few times to understand what happened, because I keep unwrapping this and wrapping it back up, and I don't know why. Where she draws her sword, riding on horse, goes, cuts a bad guy. Let me just make sure my audio is going. She cuts a bad guy, throws her sword, it hits the guy, kills him, flips the sword back, she catches it, and then resheaths it. Or again, the point where she attacks, hits him, and suddenly just swings the sword, flies circular through the air, blocks another attack, slices, and then swings the sword again, whips around and lands back on the horse. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, this girl is amazing and I love her. Oh my god. Yeah, Ryder's such a badass. Horse most epic look, I think, was at the kind of like a beauty pageant where you have to be who you are, and like you see her hair kind of down, and like I'm not sure why the boots, but like just the hair down alone was badass alone. And she looked badass singing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the most badass looking horse I've seen in this whole thing. Like, maybe her hair will stay like that now, because it was kind of starting to get cartoony, and then she completely turns into a cartoon, and I'm like, ah! I'm like, okay, but even then, like, design-wise, okay, fine. She becomes all cute and cuddly, even though I would have liked the more grittier version. But that's fine. But yeah, like, she slowly learns to, like, show to her emotions, giving her emotions cry, show, like, fear and all this stuff. And, like, she's been emotionally, like, stunted. And, like, she slowly has to learn how to love, how to, not, like, romantic love, but, like, platonic love, familial love, and all this stuff. And it's so good. It's so damn good. I love this. The found family thing I love a lot, and this actually has a lot. Mama Llama has her own issues that she has to deal with, where, like, this war that I guess must have sealed the thing a while ago, like, is, like, she has seen this war, and she is scarred by it. By this war, so I guess she's either very old or something like that, and also she was a shaman, but she gave up on it for whatever reason, and like there's so much backstory, good storytelling, character development, things. The only kind of messed up continuity is when Zoolander, or whatever his name was, freezes time with his like Saved by the Bell, like or Ember Jr. Hey, I need to tell you guys something while this all is going on behind me. And then it starts up again, and everyone's like, oh my god, I'm on fire! And I'm like, why didn't that would have been really funny if he did, because he did that when the Nowhere King, which is like this demon, which I don't know why they're using antlers, like deers, as more evil creatures, but I'm also okay with it, because, yeah, like the design of this guy reminds me, or the Nowhere King reminds me of the Beast from Over the Garden Wall, mixed with Venom. No Face, mixed with No Face. But yeah, like, it's so damn good. It's so damn good. The creepy factors when those things come in. The music is so damn awesome. The characters, again, are some of the best parts. And again, the show knows. I'm pretty sure the show knows and is in on the joke of, yes, these guys are freaking stupid and creepy. That's kind of the point of certain things, and like that's kind of stuff. And, that's kind of where some of the humor comes from, and the laughter comes from. And I love that. That's actually really good, and like and like there's obviously some mysteries going on. Again, who disconnected the portals? Why were these portals created? Who is the Nowhere King? And their rider, I guess, because like it seems like they had a rider, which is this one witch who I really like, because whenever she disappears, everyone's like, the zebra guy's like, oh my god, is that an exit? Oh wait, no, there she is running down the stairs. She doesn't really get really far, does she? Like it's really damn funny. The show is good. I love it. Again, like it literally has what I wanted from Shera. Like, I love that stuff. And like, I honestly, at the very end, I was kind of hoping like, okay, maybe Ryder gets stuck on the other side and we'll see Ryder in the next season with Horse and everyone. But maybe, hopefully we'll get like a back and forth in season 2. Because I honestly want to see more Ryder. Because, again, like, I don't know, like here's the thing. Good sword fighting is cool, but Kingdom Hearts whipping around with your blade, the fantastic, like this is shit where it's like, are you sure Ryder doesn't have magic kind of sword fighting? It's kind of amazing, and I love her design. I hope they don't centaurize her. But it's cool. I love this. I love also this idea of like isekais all in Western animation now, whether it be CentaurWorld, Amphibia, the Boiling Isles. I love all this shit. Although I will say, out of all of those worlds, CentaurWorld is the least world I would ever want to go to. By God, I would go insane there. I would go damn insane. Like, I would rather go to the Boiling Isles. But I will say this. This show is really good. Owl House is number 1 for me. I would put this, like, Amphibia, again, taking into consideration the finale, I put it near 1, but it's really like a number 2 for me. I would put CentaurWorld right next to Amphibia. I would put them right next to each other. CentaurWorld, I think, probably has more balance story-wise, which is, again, like, Amphibia is very top-heavy. Like, it throughout the whole series, I'm like, okay, it's alright, but the finale is that arrowhead where it's like, oh, okay, bang, right in the heart. Beautiful, perfect. Yeah, like, the shaft of the arrow is for stability and all this shit, and so you could notch it and fire it, but the arrow tip is what deals the most damage. That's what that is. This is a bat. This is a bat where every piece... I don't know why I have to make it violent. Every piece of this bat is going to hit you. It's going to hit you in a different way, maybe in a different style, but it's going to hit you, and you're going to feel it throughout all of this, getting hit with it. I don't know why it is getting violent. That's what this is. This show is way more well-balanced than Amphibia is, at least in my eyes. It is way more balanced than Amphibia is, though, again, that's not saying anything bad against Amphibia, because, again, they build up to their finale, and their finale is phenomenal, and that's the really good saving grace of it. Not saying that there isn't good bits throughout it, or not saying that it's bad at all. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying it's good, and then it's amazing. This is good, amazing, good, amazing, good, amazing, good, amazing, all throughout. Especially with the whole Ryder thing, and just stuff like that. It's so good, and, like, Horse wondering, like, will she recognize me? Do I even remember who she is? And all this stuff. And the mystery of the Nowhere King. Where, like, all the shamans, like, you don't know what's gonna come next. And all this stuff. It's so good. It has that creepy factor, which I love. And, yeah, like, I love it. I love this show so damn much. But, yeah, so this is another really good show. I highly recommend it. Go watch it. Especially, Shera fans. Like, nothing against Shera. I'm not saying Shera is bad either. But I will say that show, like Voltron, wavered. It wavered a lot. The best parts were... Well, like Voltron, I can't remember. Best part for Voltron was Keith, and then they threw him aside to bring back Shera, which sucked. The best part of Shera was Catra, and eventually at the very end where her and Adora get together. Like, that was extremely cool. Also, when Ryder, also I love when like, because obviously Horus kind of has the interaction of like, what the hell's going on when she gets to CentaurWorld. When Ryder gets to CentaurWorld, I love it too because she's like, what the hell is going on? When she sees the Centaur, she's like, what the hell are those? And then she like sits down on these leaves, and these leaves that like it's a running gag kind of like these leaves like, hi, are you trying to smother my baby? Like the leaves are alive, but then she immediately draws the blade on them, and you're like, oh, we're cool, man, we're cool, like some shit like that. And it's like, oh my god. I love the show. I love the show so damn much. I'm hoping season 2 comes soon because I'm assuming with music and all this stuff, it's probably going to take a minute, which kind of sucks. But you know, I would like to see more of it. This is a show that I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on. Hopefully hopefully season 2 of CentaurWorld is going to come soon. It's so damn good. It's really damn good. But thank you for watching. I've been talking long enough. Please share my other videos. Go see this show. It's really damn good. It's really damn good. I can't stress it enough. You love Adventure Time, you're gonna love this. You love Amphibia, you're gonna love this. I was gonna say Owl House. Maybe. Actually, I'm not even sure Shera too. Because the thing about Shera, but yeah, like I think Shera probably. But like, yeah, like this, I really do feel like this is a very good show. And again, it balances the darkness of like a war, some mysterious figure, something like that going on in the back, and magic fun time, la 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 kind of shit. I feel like it balances it very well, and I hope it continues with that. I bring up Shera, and it's probably gonna be in the title too. I like Shera. It's an okay show. I'm not gonna say it's a great show. It's an okay show. It's not. I wouldn't even say it's one of my top favorites. Like, and again, like I love a lot of animated shows. I'm not gonna say it's one of my top favorites. I'm definitely not gonna say that. It would be Owl House, Amphibia, Owl House number 1, Amphibia, CentaurWorld. Shera is around there. And then again, Shera's already so over. I'm going with running shows right now because Kipo would probably be around Owl House. Yeah, it's still a really damn good show. But thank you guys for watching. Share my videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Please share my videos. Don't crucify me for pointing shit out about Shera. But thank you for watching, or at least giving my opinion on it. But thank you for watching. Share my videos. And I have to unwrap this again. By God. Wait, I can just do this. We will. See you later. Usually I'd say a quote or something but from CentaurWorld, but I honestly, like, hush now. Oh yeah. I don't know why I was compelled to do that.